everybody? Welcome back to the Big Men Podcast. This is the third edition. No, it didn't take me 8 months to upload this either. So today we got a stacked show, man. If you know me, you know I'm a huge fanatic of the sport of professional wrestling. And today we got a professional wrestler on the show. Yes, New Jersey's own Valiente. He got an incredible story, an incredible journey on the way to becoming, a professional wrestler. So you don't want to miss out on that. Man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. The NFL, the Super Bowl coming up. We got a little basketball talk, and we also got to talk about the Women's March. So before we get to all that, happy birthday to my little sister, Marlise Amaya. This is the recording of this is January 24th on her birthday. I'm probably going to upload this today. Hopefully, you never know what happens. But just in case this gets uploaded later in advance, happy birthday to Marlise. She is 1 year old. I know people thinking like, well, dude, how old are you? I'm 19, by the way. Yes, my mother decided to have another baby 18 years after she had me. It's only two of us. So I got my opportunity to be that guy, be the spoiled brat, get everything I want, get all the attention. But once I turned 18 and Marlise came along, I had to pass the silver spoon over to Marlise, so now she get all that attention. She get to be the spoiled brat. She get her own room already, stuff like that. I'm very jealous. I wish I was that age again. But anyways, happy birthday, Marlise. Shout out to both of you. See you soon. Let's get right into it. Basketball. Can we please talk about how atrocious the Lakers are right now? I mean, we know the Lakers have been missing out on the playoffs for a few years now, but my God, this is the apex of how bad the Lakers have been, not even since Kobe left, even since Kobe been there, since they've been bad for a while now, like I said. So, on the day of January 22nd, 2006, Kobe Bryant scored 81 points alone against the Toronto Raptors to beat them. Historic moment in basketball history. I believe he got the second most points in history for a single game. Of course, 100 points is held by Wilt Chamberlain. So anyways, 11 years later, the baby Lakers, the people who play like they got faith in this team, they could not defend what happened on January 22nd of this year, 2017. The Lakers are going up against the Dallas Mavericks. I can't make this up. The Dallas Mavericks beat the Lakers 122-73. How ironic is that? I couldn't believe it when I heard the story. I thought it was a joke, in all honesty. I was scrolling down. I see Lou Williams wiping his face off with a dry towel, and it was like 73 points. 28 field goals, man. I was like, really? Lou Williams scored 73 points by himself. I couldn't believe it. I was like, because I couldn't believe that they could do this bad. So I'm thinking, okay, Lou Williams scored 73 points. I don't know how the Mavericks allowed that. I clicked the link. I read it. And oh, no, the team as a whole scored 73 points on the 11th year anniversary of Kobe Bryant, the best Laker of all time, scoring 81 by himself. So for people who just get over it, the Lakers are a bust team right now. There is a problem when D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle are the best players on your team. There is a problem when Luke Walton, who wasn't even a six-man in the prime of his career, is your coach, is your leader. And I really don't understand how the Lakers with that location can be as bad as they are. I mean, your location is Los Angeles. And not only that, I see if you was the Clippers and people was kind of turned off because of the sole purpose that you are the Clippers. But you are the Lakers. You are the basketball team of LA, hands down. And you telling me that you can't draw some players to LA, some marquee names? Instead, you want to go with D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle to be the top guys with Luke Walton as a coach? In all honesty, the fact that the Lakers have that location, LA, and the fact that they have that team and that they have that coach and that they have this record is absolutely disappointing. No way in hell if I'm the owner of the Lakers will I ever have a bad team. No way in hell if my location on a sports team is LA and I don't have one marquee name. They have no marquee names. I know they trying to make it seem like D'Angelo Russell is gonna be that guy, he's the future, whatever, whatever. D'Angelo Russell is okay. He's okay at best. He's a very young. Basketball players don't hit the prime of their career until about 27 years old. 26, 27, 28. Those are usually the prime years. So we got a long way with D'Angelo Russell to hit his prime and actually be nice if he lives up to what we expect him to, which is to be potentially a great player. But, man, this team is awful. It really is awful. Anyways, we're about to go into the interview segment. I got my guy from New Jersey, independent professional wrestler, Valiente, coming up right now. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the interview segment of the podcast. Now, today I have a very special friend of mine, one who is near and dear to my heart, and one who is living the dream for all of us wrestling fans. Today, I introduce you to Valiente. How you doing?
What's up, everybody?
Man, so this is awesome because I feel like ever since, first of all, I just want to throw out that I've known this guy for a very long time now. And I feel like I can live vicariously through you as a wrestler because we've all wanted to be wrestlers at one point, correct?
All right, yep.
All right, so let's start from the top, man. Where you from?
I'm from South Jersey.
Oh, really? And how was it growing up in South Jersey?
It's good, man. I mean, I don't know anything else other than just New Jersey. I know, like, the Philadelphia area. I've been in New York a couple times, but other than that, pretty local. You know, it's been all right.
All right, no type of danger. What is it, like a suburb, a city, like?
Suburb for the most part. I mean, I haven't really been confronted with any kind of danger, thank God, in my life. I haven't been surrounded with, crime and robberies and deaths and stuff like that, so I'm pretty fortunate.
That's great. Now, before we delve into wrestling, which will probably be the majority of this podcast because we're both very passionate about it,
Right.
were you into anything else growing up? Did you want to be anything else growing up?
So, I know we'll touch on it in the interview later, but pretty much being a wrestler was never in the cards for me, ever. And I never pictured myself being a pro wrestler. And it's just something I just never, I always wanted to do it, but I knew because of outside factors, it wasn't even a possibility. So,
Wait, well, real quick, did you feel you was too small?
I was dealing with that, definitely being a factor. I'm just genetically, and I'm not smaller because I'm fairly tall. I'm 6 foot. My weight, back when I wanted to be a wrestler, I was 99 pounds when I started wrestling, so I can only imagine when I was a kid how skinny I was. And I was like borderline anorexic, it looked like. But and then plus the health factors, a lot of reasons just contributed to why I didn't think I could be a wrestler. And as a kid, I loved wrestling, always wanted to do it, but I decided, what if I did become a psychologist, or that was pretty much what I wanted to do when I get older. Or I loved movies and film, so I always wanted to be like a film director when I was younger because, like I said, being a wrestler wasn't ever a possibility.
Okay, so a film director. So do you still have some sort of passion for film and directing at all now?
Yeah, if things don't work out in wrestling, it's always something you have to realize. You might not be the next, WWE superstar. If that's the case, I'd love to go there, but if I couldn't, my second choice would probably be like a commentator somewhere surrounded with the wrestling industry of some sort. But like I said, if that doesn't work out at all, then a film director, film editor of some sort would probably be my choice of a career.
Now, I want to ask you real quick, delving into wrestling a little bit more. What age did you start watching?
So I was introduced at a very young age. But at the time, I was just didn't really, I remember watching it when I was younger. I don't know a specific age, and I wasn't really, into it. I liked it, but it didn't really capture me at the moment because I wasn't really paying attention. I was young, and I think I was into Dragon Ball Z at the time and Sonic, so I didn't really care for wrestling or whatever. And it wasn't until 2008. I actually remember my exact match, and it sounds weird, but like, I remember like I said, wrestling was on in the background. I wasn't really paying attention to it. But in 2008, I'll never forget it. I don't remember the exact date, but it was sometime in the summer. The match was Batista versus Kane or whatever, and it was like Batista and CM Punk shooting over the world title. And we're sitting there, the kid, and it was some Monday Night Raw leading up to Punk versus Batista, and I was over some kid's house, and he's like, "Yeah, look at this, it's wrestling," and I was like, I'll never forget looking at Batista walk up the stairs to the ring. It was just like mesmerizing, and I was in love with it from that moment on. I went home, recorded, DVR'd, Raw, SmackDown, tried, stalking WWE.com to like check out the results of a pay-per-view, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so I'm guessing Batista is your favorite?
So when I was younger, it just like looking at Batista, the size of Batista was definitely, made him one of my favorites. Him and John Cena, as I got older, my favorites changed or whatever. But as a kid, Batista and John Cena were definitely people that I aspired to be like.
Oh, okay, cool. So, all right, this is where we get into it. So, how do you transition from being a fan into a wrestler? Because most wrestling fans don't even know how to become wrestlers. Well, now with the internet, they probably can do it a little easier. But like back in the day, like the business was so closed off, nobody really knew how to get into it. So how did you get into it?
So, actually, there was some kid in my school. So I remember, I was always a wrestling fan or whatever, and there was some kid in my school. His name was Steve Sanders, and he was a grade above me, and he was a professional wrestler. And I remember him posting like some pictures about it. I didn't really hear about him too much because he was a grade above me, so I don't really even know about him. But I saw people tweeting about him one night and tweeting at him about wrestling, and I clicked on his profile and saw that he was a pro wrestler, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. I'm like, oh my god, like this kid goes to my school and he's a wrestler, like I could be a wrestler. And that's when like the health stuff started kicking in or whatever, and it was a bunch of other factors, but I wanted to be a wrestler, and when I saw he could do it, I contacted him. We started talking back and forth. He told me where he trains and where he wrestles at, and from there I just contacted the school and trained and I was inspired because of Steve Sanders.
Okay, Steve Sanders. Does Steve Sanders still wrestle?
Yes, he's still wrestling right now.
Great. So let's backpedal a little bit. So before you start wrestling, you were diagnosed with this condition, I guess you could say?
Yeah, it was so I got it in 8th grade, and it's called ITP, and it's a blood disorder, like an immune disorder or whatever, and pretty much my platelets were getting destroyed. My own body was killing my own platelets, and platelets help clot the blood. So when you get a cut or a scab or something, your platelets help cover it up and it stops you from bleeding, and a bunch of other medical stuff that would, pretty much bore you, but I'm not going to get the details of it. But I couldn't do regular things that regular people could do, and I had to go to like adaptive gym, and I couldn't play sports like everybody else, and I was pretty much different from everybody else just because one day I woke up and I got the blood disorder, and that was pretty hard to deal with.
Yeah, I remember like this was around the time when myself, you, and a couple of other of our friends would talk every day religiously to each other. So I kind of got a feel of how rough those times were for you, because you always talking about how you wanted to do this, and this, and you just couldn't do it because this condition was kind of holding you back. So Can you tell us about the recovery process? What was the recovery process for that?
Well, pretty much, like I said, like what you're talking about, whatever, about like, how it stopped me from doing everyday things. Like I was playing baseball all the time, and it stopped me immediately from doing that. It stopped me from going, to do gym with the other kids or whatever. And, I had to get blood transfusions every single Friday. I'd have to go and sit there for 6 hours and get blood transfusions and go to the hospital every other week and get checked up. And eventually I was on steroids. You remember that. I was on steroids, like anabolic steroids, and my face flew up like a tick, and I got, broke out acne, and I got moon face, and it wasn't fun. I felt like an alien of some sort. It wasn't attractive whatsoever. And I was dealing with that for a little bit. I was on steroids, and then pretty much I was resistant to every kind of medication that was possible. My body wasn't able to take it, so there was pretty much no cure. And I got some, I'm on this medicine right now called Promacta. I'm still on it to this day. I've been on it for like 3 years, 4 years or whatever. And, it's working, but it wasn't doing anything great. And this is like the weird part. And like, I don't know how I started recovering. Pretty much I been dealing with this blood disorder, and, I could start, the medicine was helping me go back to regular gym, and I was able to play sports again or whatever, but I wasn't able to wrestle. And then miraculously, right around the same time, believe it or not, Daniel Bryan won the world championship at WrestleMania 30. That was the same time I started getting into like wanting to learn more about the business, and that's when I met Steve around WrestleMania 30. So when I saw Daniel Bryan be able to do it, I remember sitting there on my couch, and I was like, I have goosebumps. I was sitting there like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to find some way. I'm going to do this. And I told my mom about it Saturday. I was like, Mom, I want to be a wrestler. And she was like, okay, we'll see. And I said,
so she was actually accepting to the idea.
Right. Yeah. My mom was supportive through and through. My dad was the one that took a little bit of convincing, and still this day, I don't think he 100% agrees with my decision and questions me every single day. But that's a different story for a different day. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I want to be a wrestler. And she just sat there. She was like, you're serious about this, right? I'm like, Mom, like this is what I want to do, and I know I want to do this. And I was just nervous about one thing, and that one thing, of course, was the condition I had. And I remember going to get checked off, and I told the doctor, and she was like, okay, well, your numbers are good. And I was like, what? Like, last week they weren't good, and now all of a sudden they're good. Like, it was crazy. I still, to this day, do not have an answer, but I don't know. It's using the word miracle is like so cliche, but
that's what I was just about to say. That's kind of a miracle, right?
it's definitely like it has to be some sort of. I don't want to use the word miracle, but there's no honestly other word to describe. The miraculous.
Because right around the time you made the decision, all of a sudden you was good to go. So I guess you can say
crazy.
that.
Yep, it's crazy, man.
Okay, to delve into the wrestling a little more. So you got your start in the wrestling business kind of through this Steve Sanders character, correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so tell us the first day of training. Now, I know I've heard a lot of wrestlers talk about their first day getting in the ring, training. Well, how was the process first? Did they make you train before you got in the ring, or did they just throw you in the ring?
So I remember my first day. I remember, because my family, not to dive into financial situations, but my family isn't in the best financial situation, and it was really tough to create the amount of money that that was needed to start training or whatever. And I remember the first day, I bought knee pads, and I bought wrestling shoes, like amateur wrestling shoes, and I went to train there, and I didn't even think I was gonna be able to train because I thought, I wasn't able to afford it or whatever, and we worked something out or whatever, and everything ended up working. I remember, shaking hands with, I didn't really get to introduce the wrestling school I wrestle at. I wrestle at OTW Pro Wrestling. It stands for Old Time Wrestling, run by former ECW referee Jim Molyneux. I'm trained by Brian Johnson, the president of Pro Wrestling. He's my trainer, my mentor, and I'm still right now currently wrestling for OTW Pro Wrestling. It is in Williamstown, New Jersey. So if anybody is from the Williamstown, New Jersey area, you can check out Valiente and all the other OTW superstars. They are at the OTW arena. You can just Google or whatever if you're interested, or contact Meer, who will contact me or whatever. But that's where I want to wrestle at OTW. And the first night I got there or whatever, I got changed. And I remember stepping in the ring for the first time. I was like, oh my God, like, this is cool. And then it went from cool to painful, like literally like a couple of seconds. I remember hitting the ropes for the first time, and it was like, plus like with the mixture of like I still have the blood disorder. Just to clarify, I still have that blood disorder. It's more dormant. I still have it. I gotta take medicine every day, but it's not a contributing factor to my life, and it doesn't hinder anything. It's just when I get bruises or blood, it takes a longer for it to heal. So I'm hitting these ropes really hard. I remember they're like, just teaching me how to hit the ropes, and it took me a couple weeks to hit the ropes because it's very challenging. I remember my first night, I had marks just up and down my back, and I thought it was the coolest. I remember going home, Mom, take a picture of this. Like, you gotta see this or whatever. It's so cool. And I remember show my friends, like, look, I'm a pro wrestler now. Look at me. I hitting the ropes for like 2 weeks or whatever. And yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
So now people who don't know wrestling, obviously, oh, it's fake, it's scripted, it's rehearsed, it's, whatever. Now, those ropes, man, like, people think they, like, soft or whatever, and they bungee. That's not the case at all. Those ropes, some ropes that depend on the promoter, I guess, or who setting the ring up, those ropes can be very tight and very painful, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, think about it. People are able to springboard off the ropes, so you can imagine how tight they need to be. And the company at OTW, our ropes are legit ropes. They're not cables, so they, hurt a little more whenever you hit the ropes. And plus, you're hitting the ropes pretty hard, and they don't tickle. Let's put it that way. I mean, now after hitting the ropes for so often and for so long, I don't really feel it as much. But the first day, especially, it happens to everybody. When you hit those ropes, I mean, it does hurt. And then, like, when you take your first bump, I took my first bump a couple weeks later, and that immediately knocks the wind right out of you. And people, like, that's the part that, like, kind of frustrates you. People are like, oh, that ring, whatever. They have their little comments about it, but it doesn't tickle. It doesn't feel good. It knocks the wind out of you. And it's just literally just wood with a piece of cloth or whatever over top of it, canvas over top of it. But pretty much just wood.
Okay. So usually in independent wrestling companies like OTW, right? They don't have, like, do you guys have the thin padding under the ring, or am I getting too, like, deep into the business? I'm sorry, but, like, a boxing ring is just all wood. Like, I've been in a boxing ring before. It's hard. But how are wrestling rings?
Like I said, it's just a steel frame with wood and the canvas covering over it. That's pretty much.
So it's basically the same as a boxing ring.
Yeah, I mean, when you take a bump, whatever, you don't immediately get back up. It takes sometimes takes the wind out of you. It doesn't. It definitely does hurt. Like, that's the point trying to get across. It's not. You don't bounce right back up off it. It's just wood.
Right. Correct. Okay. So speaking of bumps, tell us about your first bump, because usually wrestlers speak of that as like a horrible experience, and it's something you definitely cannot get used to. It always hurts. So tell us about your first bump.
My first bump was we did the Scott Hall bump, where someone has my arms, someone has my legs, and then no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going up, and then you're going down. And, plus, keep in mind, not only do I still have this blood disorder, but I'm also literally 99 pounds. That's not an exaggeration. Like, I was 99 pounds.
And this was 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Right. So I started training, I need to specify it, I guess. I started training July 2nd, 2014, over the exact date, because that was when my dream came true. So I've been wrestling for obviously over 2 years, and that was, I started, actually getting in the ring around like mid-July. So when I was still, like I said, 99 pounds, and taking the first bump, whatever, just knocked the wind right out of me. And most people can like get up and like, oh, I'm done with this, like that's too much for me. But I got right back up and like, I better start getting used to that feeling, because I'm gonna be doing this for a long time. Like, I'm in love with it. Like, I just loved it from the get-go. Like, it hurt, but I knew it was all gonna be worth it.
Right, so you never had thoughts in the beginning like, oh, this is really like beating me up, maybe I should do something else. There was no quit at all. There's never been any quit about this.
Not for 1 second where I was like, maybe I should, rethink this. Like, I went, and there was no coming out of it. Like, I was dead set on being a wrestler and just continuing to move on from there.
Okay, and you was talking about 99 pounds. Real quick, how much do you weigh now?
I weigh 165.
Okay, so you got your weight up a lot over the past couple of years. Yeah.
I've been, and like, if you were to see a picture like with me now or whatever, I don't, like I said, like you can tell I gained a lot more weight. I weigh more. My stomach, when I was first wrestling, was caving in, like literally caving in. Now it's, now I have more muscle mass to me. I have a little more definition in my arms, and I'm proud of that I was able to just continue to gain weight. That's something I was self-conscious about for a while, about being a skinnier wrestler and as the, Valiente progresses, like, when he first started or whatever, how skinny and literally sickly I looked when I first had my first match, to now where I look more mature and I grew my hair out and I'm starting to look more the part, so I'm feeling more comfortable with myself.
Okay, so tell us about the training regimen outside of the ring, or do you just, when you get your workout in, is it strictly just working out in the ring from wrestling, or do you actually go to the gym and actually work out and get in shape?
I used to go to the gym a lot. I used to go religiously when I was first starting. Now I'm dealing with a little bit of a rib injury, so I haven't been able to go to the gym for a while. But that's something I'm definitely going to go back, because I've started seeing results, and this rib injury that I'm dealing with right now is definitely unfortunate. But I'm gonna bounce back and start hitting the gym again. But I remember first starting, whenever I started eating a lot more, started getting tips from people to start gaining more weight, working out, and then going to wrestle Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. So it was a lot. Plus I had to work still, so it was definitely a lot to deal with.
So wait, for weight, do you have a specific goal, like it's 200 where you want to be, 200 with muscle, or?
Honestly, as much as I look up to like Batista and John Cena, and they were muscles and freaks of men, I don't want to. I would love to be like that, but I just, where I feel comfortable, at least if I could probably get to like 185 with more muscles and all but I don't want to. I can't picture myself, at least at the moment, being that jacked right now. I'm just focusing, because I'm still only 18 years old, so I can see that look on for me. I'm going to gain 20 more pounds, and then once I heal from my rib injury, I'm going to start hitting the gym again and hopefully get that muscle back, and then I'll be okay for now.
Okay, so let's talk about your first match. Where was it? How did it go down? Who were you wrestling?
All right, so my first match, I remember it was a Classic Day 2015. It was March 21st, 2015, and I was wrestling Eddie Hawkins, who is someone I look up to, and definitely someone has helped me, through inside and outside the ring. And I wrestled him my first match, and it was, because Classic Day at OTW, our whole shtick is we do every match have a stipulation of some sort, and my match stipulation was mask versus dress, and if Eddie lost, he had to put on dress. And it was a lot of fun. I remember having goosebumps and having my friends and family in the ring, like looking around. I remember, when my name hit and I was through the curtain, and they said, and his opponent, Valiente, and I hit the ring, and I'm goosebumps all my arm. I remember looking and hearing the ovation and hearing the crowd. Something I'll never get out of my mind, and I'll always be appreciative for. And just something like all the hard work and all the the nonsense BS I had to go through in my life, but it all made me who I am today. So I'm not, I don't look at it like I'm being bitter. Like I really, it made me who I am, it made me a stronger person because of it. And my first match, was the culmination of like all the hard work has finally paid off. And
what was the finish?
So the match, I remember being good. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was just, basic for a first match, but I remember being very pleased with it. And the whole story of the match is him trying to unmask me, and he went to go, pull a mask off me, and I rolled them up 1, 2, 3, and the crowd erupted. And like,
they let you win your first match? That's very rare in the wrestling business, to win the first match.
Yeah, I don't know the reason for it. I'm thankful for, just stepping in the ring. So, winning and losing, right now that doesn't really, make a difference for me. I'm just thankful to be able to wrestle or whatever. So, just like if I lost, that stuff doesn't really concern me. I just remember, I just wanted the best match possible. And I remember being very pleased with the match, and I felt like a celebrity. It felt pretty cool. Like a superstar.
Okay, so so at this point in the story, you feeling pleased with the first match.
Right.
To fast forward a little bit, when did you start feeling like, okay, you feel like you're doing all right, but when did you start feeling like you're really good at this? What was the match where you felt like you were really good at this?
I mean, I guess I felt best, I guess, in my career when I was starting to gain a little bit of momentum when I was one of my favorite people wrestle. His name is Justin Pusser, and he is the meanest in the game, and he is someone that you don't want to mess with, and he definitely I definitely been beaten down by him quite a few times, and I remember having that match with Justin in the summer of 2015, and I remember loving that match and feeling good about myself. I was able to hang in there with someone of his caliber. And then we went into the fall of that year, and I have a tag team partner. His name's Dre. We had Dre the Dragon Drummond and Valiente. We were wild and crazy. And I remember winning tag team championships. And at that point, people in school are starting to hear about it. Oh, look at him. He's the tag team champion or whatever. And I started, gaining some momentum. And I started feeling good with myself. And and plus, it's always the crowd that is so reassuring because at OTW we have a very good, fan base, and they're so supportive, and they make me feel good when I hit the ring. They immediately, erupt, and they're very loud and vivacious for me, and that's always something that doesn't go unnoticed with me. So I guess probably when I started winning the tag team championships, I started thinking I was in love with it from the get-go, but at that moment when I won, I was like, I can't ever see myself leaving. I want to do this forever. There's no chance of me ever leaving.
Okay. So, you're 18 years old, and you're really starting to feel yourself right now at the moment. But would you like to branch out from OTW? Obviously, earlier you said you wanted to go to WWE. That's the dream for just about every aspiring wrestler, correct?
Right.
But would you be willing to go and do a TNA or a Dragon Gate or a Ring of Honor or a PWG or anything like that?
I'm definitely interested in going to any place that is interested in me. I mean, any place that wants to hire Valiente, I'm definitely down for. The end goal is probably WWE, but if I get signed anywhere else, I won't be upset about it. I'm right now sticking to OTW. Eventually, when I feel more confident myself, my rib, and all that good stuff, probably sometime next year, I'll start branching out to more independents and go from there, and then branch out and keep making a name for myself, and then maybe if a company is interested in hiring me, whatever, I'm down to go wherever. No set place I don't want to go here. I'll go anywhere. You know what I mean?
Okay, and that's the right mindset to have. So you're talking about branching out. So you feel like you can branch out this early and be successful in other independent circuits, like working people who you haven't trained with, who you are not familiar with, can be a lot harder than the people that taught you. So how do you feel about going out, branching out, and going against people that you've never even met before?
It's all part of the game. It's all part of being a wrestler, and it's all about not sticking with your comfort zone. And I'm all about challenging myself. I've always loved challenging myself, and what better way to challenge yourself than, like you said, go to different locker rooms and meet different people and get your name out there, reach different audiences, and eventually, brand myself to a point that people start hearing about me more, knowing about me more. I'm all about challenging myself. Once I become complacent with something, it becomes boring to me. But I'm always setting the bar for myself. As of right now, I have more goals and stuff to accomplish, and I won't be satisfied until those goals are met.
Okay. All right, let's get into a little more OTW. Do you feel that you won't be successful in OTW until you are the world champion?
I feel success just being able to have my first match, because like I said, I keep bringing it back to that, but I do mean that. I mean to stress that, I did not think it'd be possible. So I could leave tomorrow and I'd be satisfied. I'd feel like a winner that I was able to do that. And, then I have a couple more goals, like I said, one of them definitely being to be the heavyweight champion of OTW, and that's a goal for everybody. And I won't stop until I become. I'm trying to be the best there, and if going to take more years and more experience. I'm learning things every single day of my life, and I'm always tape studying, and I'm always learning, and I'm always thinking of new ways to reinvent myself or change this about me, change that about me. And like I said, the end goal definitely will be to be the OTW heavyweight champion. That's definitely the end goal.
All right, and that's what I like to hear. I feel like, you know, to quote Steve Austin, if you're not here to be the world champion, then you shouldn't be here at all.
Right.
So to get into these injuries or injury, ribs, how did this happen?
Stupid thing, like real stupid. I was in training, and I was teaching this new girl, trying to help her out, have a match with her, and she was kind of lost. And I remember whipping her and to the corner, and I went charging at it. She moved, like, delayed, and just the way I hit it was weird. I hit the turnbuckle with, like, my ribs, and immediately lost my breath, and I was like, that's not good. That didn't feel too good. And I remember sitting there, I was like, oh, I think I might have broken my rib, and I was too embarrassed to say something.
Wait, well, are your ribs broken or bruised?
They're broken.
Broken? Only,
yeah.
How many?
Just the one, the 10th rib on my right side is broken. It's on my back, so it hurts to take moves or whatever. But I remember being kind of embarrassed. I was like, oh no, that was stupid. Like,
is this your first injury in the wrestling ring?
I've suffered with inner ear concussion. I've suffered with what else? Broken rib is the one. Definitely something else I can't think of. But, I mean, like I said, with ITP, it makes me to get more injuries, more susceptible or whatever. So I'm more prone to getting injuries. There's definitely some more I'm missing, but I can't think off the top of my head.
So, speaking of, like, paying your dues wise, like, you've already taken enough beatings. Let's just say that.
Right. Well, like I said, like, it goes hand in hand because of, who I am as a person. I'm looked at by the crowd to be the underdog or whatever, because of my size, and that makes me able to connect to the crowd more. So I'm all for if getting my butt handed to me a couple times, that just makes the crowd more into me and makes me able to connect with them more because they feel my pain, and it's a special relationship me and the OTW fan nation we have because, like I said, like, they see me in pain. These bigger guys are picking on me and they're beating me up, whatever, and they said they feel my pain.
Okay. So, Valiente, man, it's been a great interview, but I know I got to let you go. But first, let's just get a couple things out the way really, really, really quick. Okay, so as a wrestling fan, I really do look up to you because you're one of my boys personally. And to see you do this, man, it's awesome. And I have a great time going on YouTube. But when you send me matches and I'm watching, I'm like, that's my guy out there doing this thing, Valiente. So for other aspiring wrestlers or for kids like yourself who had problems growing up, whether it's a condition or whatever the case may be, give us some words of wisdom, some inspirational words to send us off.
Well, I said, I'm not really busy right now. If you were able to, if you have any more questions, don't feel rushed or whatever. I'm able to answer any questions. But this pertains to this question. Like, that's the thing. That's another thing I want to probably reach out to and start doing is like probably maybe motivational speeches of some sort because, it's so cliche to do, but I really do feel like I'm a living example of like just like a kid that didn't think he could do it because of size and condition and like literally just being out of luck, like, never being able to be a wrestler. And it sounds like so cliche, like, you can do it, put your mind to it, but like you really can. If you think you can do it, then you can probably do it. And to people that want to be a wrestler, like, definitely, if your heart's in it, don't just do it just to do it for the money because that's the complete wrong reason to do it. If you're doing it because you want to be the best and you want to learn more of the business and you shut your mouth and you go there and you open your ears and you learn and you listen and you take all the advice given to you and you want to be a wrestler, then I think it's definitely an avenue to pursue because one thing I'm against is regrets. And I know if I never stepped foot in a wrestling ring, I would regret it for the rest of my life because I'd always wonder what if. And I said, I might not make it to WWE. And if that's the case, I'm okay with that. Because, as much as I want to be there, I just being able to get in the ring or whatever, it is definitely an honor. So, I hate to be like, oh yeah, I'm a living proof of you can do anything, but you really can. And, I've had people tell me, including, some family members, like, that I can't do it. I've straight up been told by my own family, literally looked into my eyes and told me, you won't make it. You can't do it. Like, you literally can't do it. You won't do it. You won't succeed. And, like, I remember just sitting there and I started laughing. I'm like, you'll see. Like, I will use this as nothing more but motivation. I will motivate myself, and I will make you eat your words. And, fast forward now to the type of wrestler I am, that's certainly family member that have said those comments. He sits, front row to OTW, and, as I'm doing, topes over the top rope and flipping to the outside, I remember looking at him in the face and just laughing. His jaw is on the floor. I'm hitting topes on the outside, and I'm like, hey, you want to pick your jaw for you? Like, he's eating his own words, and that's the best kind of revenge is success. So to people that tell you can't do it because of your size or whatever, like, don't let that get to you. You can do it, honestly, whatever you want. Like, you're in control. Only you can, push yourself to do this or do that. So that's it.
All right. That was beautiful. Plugs. How can we get in touch with Valiente? I know you got shirts. You got 8x10s. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I mean, so, like I said, if you live in the Delaware, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey area, I really, really, really do recommend checking out OTW Pro Wrestling. Again, it stands for Old Time Wrestling. We do birthday parties. We do shows every single Saturday at 2 p.m. and once a month, 7 p.m. shows, special events. We train wrestlers, obviously. I definitely, and it's only $10. It's affordable. It's something you can, family fun. It's definitely, the best wrestling around because we give it our all. We're a great, locker room in the back, and we put on some great wrestling. So like I said, if you're a wrestling fan in that area, I definitely recommend you checking it out. As far as Valiente goes, you can. I'm posting stuff. I'm starting to work more on that to start making a YouTube channel. So I upload my matches or whatever. And then, just contact the Meer if I send him any more matches, whatever. I'm starting to work on that. But like I said, the most important thing is getting more viewers and more eyes and more of an audience to OTW. So just stay tuned for that. And if you have any more questions or any more comments, if someone's interested in contacting me in any way, shape, or form, my Twitter is Valiente Ole, VALIENTE Ole OLE. Contact me there. You can follow me on there. I'll get back to you if you have any more questions or comments. I guess that's pretty much it. And my matches, if you're interested in watching my matches or whatever, like I said, you can, again, contact me through there, and I will personally send you matches. Definitely, I consider myself a high flyer, and if you're interested in seeing some of those high-flying maneuvers and tope canilos and all that, great stuff, feel free to contact me.
All right, everybody. Old Time Wrestling, Valiente, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to interview you, buddy.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Thank you, guys.
All right, once again, thanks for the interview, my guy Valiente. Hopefully we'll see him down the line, maybe as world champion. Who knows? Maybe as a WWE superstar. You never know. But hopefully we'll see him again. All right, let's get into the next topic of the show, which is football. I want to dab into the Super Bowl a little bit. Of course, we all know by now, in 2 weeks, we'll be seeing the Atlanta Falcons go against the New England Patriots. I made a video about this the other day, just a regular video on my YouTube channel. If you want the deep analysis, go back to the YouTube channel, go click on the AFC Championship video. My analysis really is on there. My pick is the New England Patriots. Of course, if you know me, you know Tom Brady is my favorite football player of all time. And you really just can't deny this guy. But anyways, so I work in this this sports merchandise store. I sell sports merchandise. So as most of our customers, well, majority of our customers are sports fans, of course. So customer by customer, me and my coworker are like, he said the Falcons is going to win. I'm like, the Falcons realistically won't have a legitimate chance. Anyways, customer by customer, I'm asking people, who you got for the big game in a couple weeks? Patriots and Falcons. And I kid you not, about 97% of the people that came in that store said the Patriots were going to win. Most of them didn't like saying the Patriots going. I know the Patriots is one of the more hated teams in the league, understandably. 4 championships, the greatest quarterback of all time, the greatest coach of all time. It's hard. And plus all the scandals behind those guys, which I really don't buy, especially Deflategate. But with all the scandals behind it, it makes those guys very hard to like. So understandably, it was a lot of, I don't really like to say it, but I'm pretty sure the Patriots are going to win. People at least was being realistic with themselves. And of course, you had your 3-4 people say that the Falcons were going to pull it off against the Patriots in 2 weeks at Super Bowl 51. So I got the Patriots. Again, I got the Patriots. So to dab into this women's protest, right, real quick. So, of course, we had the inauguration of Donald Trump. I refuse to call this guy president. But anyways, we had his inauguration, and it was very empty. It was a lot of vacant spots out in the audience. Let's say that. But, it was a lot of memes going around, like, the Obama inauguration compared to the Donald Trump inauguration. It just really shows how divided the country is, if anything, and it shows how ridiculous this is. I mean, I just wanted to take this time to give this segment to Donald Trump and how he is already a piss poor president. So he does this inauguration. After it's over, there is a full-blown riot in Washington. I mean, full people breaking stuff, and I'm not down with riots, by the way. I totally hate riots. They call them protesters when they out there breaking and burning stuff and flipping cars and attacking police officers. That's not protesters. That's anarchy. That's a riot. So, with that being said, I don't agree with that at all. I hate that. I feel like you should do it the calm way, like what the women did the next day, which I'll get into a little bit after that. But I'm watching this, and Donald Trump on television. If you followed the inauguration on CNN, you look at Donald Trump and Pence, and they all in this dining room, and they celebrating, and they drinking wine and having a good time. Right outside of them is a full-blown riot. You turn to one of the other news stations, and they in Washington, and the citizens of Washington are tearing everything apart. So I decided to go ahead and tweet because I just couldn't resist. I say, hey, Mr. President, you got a whole riot going on right behind you. Do something. But of course, nothing happened. Donald Trump had said no word about the riot in Washington that happened immediately after his inauguration speech. Anyways, so getting off that, I really want to give a shout out to all of the women. You women handled your business the other day with the Women's March. And I had tweeted about that as well. Let me get the tweet real quick. But the women did their thing. One second. I got a lot of tweets going on over here. I got a lot of notifications and people debating with me. So give me a second. Okay. So this was my tweet. I said, I give women all the admiration in the world. The message has gone global. It's inescapable. # Women's March. And that's truly what it was. I didn't know how big it was going to be until I was there. And I know a lot of men like myself got made fun of for going to the Women's March. Well, I'll let you know that I love my women. And if you got a problem with loving your women, then you have an issue, sir. I was raised by 3 women, my grandma, my mom, and my auntie, and the number one rule was respect women. I have the utmost respect for women. I have the utmost admiration for women. And I stand by my women, period. So for the guys who who showed up with me to the march, I give you all the admiration in the world too, because you don't want anybody hurting your women, as you shouldn't want that to happen. Anyways, so this thing went so global. People around the world, Donald Trump, you have a problem when people around the world are protesting against you. People in Poland were protesting and marching, have nothing to do with the U.S. People all over the world were protesting. So that fact that you got all these women protesting, you got riots going on, you have the lowest approval rate of any president in U.S. history. Maybe, just maybe, you should listen to us. Maybe, just maybe, Congress should change their mind and not let this happen. I mean, that's never going to happen. They're going to let him do his whole term, sadly, but still. And, you got a lot of people complaining like, oh, marching and protesting and it won't do anything and it doesn't help. It's inescapable. When you make a message like that, when you make a statement like that, that is so inescapable. The president heard. He didn't say anything yet, but he heard. And hopefully he'll take heed to the words that were chanted by the people of the United States, the people who he is here to serve. So, with that being said, if he's going to be president, we're going to make him compromise with us. We don't care if you don't agree with this. We don't care if you didn't agree with Obama. If this is the way we like things, you're going to listen to us. You don't know what you're doing. We know what we want. You don't know what we want. You plan on running this country as a business, and that shouldn't be the way it should be ran. Because what do business people do? They step over everybody to get where they want to be. You can't step over everybody when you're the president. Because the president serves who? The people. Businessmen don't. Therefore, a businessman running the country will never work. So, I love the statement that the women made. And I give all of you all the respect in the world. I love the sign. Some of them were hilarious. A girl brought a sign that said the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. That made no sense at all, but it was funny nonetheless. Anyways, I just want to give all the women a shout out. Shout out to Marlise, happy birthday. And Patriots winning the Super Bowl, blow the Lakers up. Honestly, I hate them so much. And follow me on everything at Y2J. I still need to change that before Y2J sues me. And I think I'm out. There you go. See you on the next edition of the Big Meer Podcast.